All right, welcome back, you guys. So today what we're doing is solving equations. Quick little video. There's 3 steps to solving any equation. Okay, so we will refer back to these 3 steps. The first step is to simplify both sides of the equal sign, and we're going to do that through combining like terms and distributing. Okay, you may not have to do step 1. It may already be fully simplified, so that could be the situation. Step 2 is we're going to get our variables to one side. This is another step that you may or may not have to do. You may already have all of your variables that you're solving for on one side. Okay. Number 3, we will use inverse operations to solve. So if you see addition in your problem, that means we will be subtracting to solve. If you see multiplication, we'll be using division and vice versa. Okay. Subtraction, we will add. Division, we will multiply. So let's talk about what this looks like. So I'm going to go through 4 examples. The first one's going to be 1 step. The second one will be 2-step. The third one will be multi-step. And the fourth one will be multi-step. As you can tell, they get more difficult as they go along, more complicated. The process for all of them is the exact same. All right. So once we finish the first one, I'm going to talk about a mistake people make with this problem. But let's go through our 3 steps. So first, I'm going to check our both sides fully simplified. What that means for me here is I'm going to draw a line that splits my equation into 2. I'm going to cover up one side and say, is this fully simplified? So are there any like terms? Well, this is the only term on this side. And do I need to distribute? Well, there's no parentheses. So the left-hand side is fully simplified. I'll do the same with the right-hand side. Any like terms? Well, this is the only term. Do I need to distribute? Well, there's no parentheses. So step 1, check. Both sides are fully simplified. Step 2, I want to get my variables to one side. So m is my variable. There's no m over here. So step 2 is also a check. So now here I need to use inverse operations to solve. Great. This is -3 multiplied by m. This is -3 multiplied by m. So to solve for m, if -3 is being multiplied by it, I want to divide by -3. So that I get m, 1m, is equal to 12 divided by -3 is -4. Okay, now of course we can check our answer. Let's check our answer here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my original equation, I'm going to plug -4 into it and see if it gets me 12. So -3 times -4, that's a negative times a negative, which will be a positive number, and 3 times 4 is 12. It checks out. That's the correct answer. Okay, let's talk about a common mistake people make with this problem. They see this -3m equals 12, and they go, oh, this negative, we're subtracting. But there's nothing over here, right? You're not subtracting from anything. So the mistake people make is they go +3. And so then they add 3 and they think they get m is equal to 15. Okay, this is a mistake. This is not the right answer. But when we check our answer here, it's real quick to see that that's not going to be the case. -3 times 15, we're checking, does that equal 12? It's a big question mark here. Well, -3 times 15 is -45. That does not equal 12. So -15 is not the answer. Okay, so that's our 1-step equation. We're not going to do a mistake each time. I just wanted to clarify that. So now let's go to 2-step. So let's do example 2. And I'm just going to keep my 3 steps underneath here. So first, I want to check, are both sides simplified? So we have 2 terms here now. However, neither of them have like terms. Like this has an x, this does not. So they're not like terms. There's no parentheses, so no need to distribute. That's simplified. That's 1 term, that's simplified. Check for step 1. Step 2, get your variables to one side. Well, here's x, no other x on this side. We are good there. So we're ready to start solving. So this is 7x plus 49 equals -12. 7x plus 49 is equal to -12. All right, so here's the deal. We're doing 7 multiplied by x plus 49. So the question is do I divide by 7 first or subtract 49? It doesn't matter. However, if you want like a prettier problem, not one with less fractions, we're going to add or subtract always first. okay? So what I'm going to do is, since I'm adding 49, I will then subtract 49. So on the left-hand side, what I'll be left with is 7x is equal to, because 49 minus 49, that goes to 0, so I'm just left with 7x. Negative 12 minus 49, I believe, is negative 61, but I'm going to check in the calculator just to make sure, and it is. And this is 7 multiplied by x, so I'm going to divide by 7 on both sides. So we get x is equal to negative 61 over 7, or just depending on your answers, x could approximately be negative 8.7, okay? It just depends on what kind of test you're taking, whether it's going to have multiple choice as a fraction or a decimal. So just be careful there. All right, let's talk about multi-step. So multi-step, we're going to ask the exact same questions here. Are both sides simplified? And so I'm going to cover up the left-hand side. Well, that's the only term there. So of course, yes, that is simplified. The right-hand side, though, we now have parentheses, which means I need to distribute. So I'm going to distribute this negative 1 to both p and negative 8. So what I'm going to get is 14 is equal to negative 1 times p is negative p. Negative 1 times negative 8 is a positive 8. Okay. Now, even after we distribute, we need to check again, are both sides simplified? Because we might have to combine like terms now. So we already know 14 is. Is this simplified? Yeah, there's a p here. There's not one here. We're good to go. Now let's check. Do I need to get the variables to one side? Well, p is our variable. There's no p's over here. Only one on this side, so we're good there. So now we're going to use inverse operations to solve. So I have got 14 equals negative 1 times p plus 8. Okay, so the first thing I hear myself say is, oh, okay, I've got that plus 8, so I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. And we get 14 minus 8 is 6, is equal to negative p. 8 minus 8 will go to 0. Now, when we have this negative p here, it's pretty easy to handle. What we're going to do, this is just like multiplying by negative 1. So let's divide by negative 1 and get negative 6 is equal to p. So negative 6 is equal to p. Once again, we can check our answer by plugging back into the original equation. So 14 is equal to negative 6 minus 8. Great, well, negative 6 minus 8 is going to be negative 14, and two negatives multiplied together will get us a positive. So that does work out there. All right, we got one more, and this, of course, is going to be the big one here. So step 1, let's check if both sides are simplified. You can already look on the left-hand side. If I draw the line down at the equal sign, left-hand side, we've got parentheses in 2 spots. Okay, so we got to distribute there. And then if you look at the right-hand side, we have to combine like terms. So just take this one step at a time. First, let's distribute. So we're going to do this negative 5 times each part here, this positive 5 times each part in the parentheses here. Let's write what we get. So negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 5x will be a positive 25x. 5 times negative 8 will be negative 40x. 5 times negative 2 will be negative 10. All right, and now we're at the equals. And then we've got to combine like terms on the right-hand side. Negative 4x minus 8x is negative 12x. Okay, but remember, if we have to do distribution or combining like terms, we need to check again to make sure we're fully simplified. So let's look at the left-hand side, everything written in red. Is it simplified? And your answer should be no. We've got like terms in 2 spots. We can combine negative 5 and negative 10 and 25x minus 40x. Let's check the right-hand side. There's only one term here, so no like terms, no parentheses. That's fully simplified. We'll leave that alone. So negative 5 minus 10 is going to be negative 15. 25x minus 40x will be also negative 15x. And that's going to be equal to negative 12x. And so now both sides should be fully simplified. There's no parentheses, no like terms. We now want to get our variables to one side. Well, we do have to handle that in this case because I've got 1x over here, 1x over here. So what do I do to get my variables to one side? Well, if this is a negative 15x, you've got two options. You can either add 15x to this side or you can add 12x. Now, all that's over here is negative 12x, so I'm going to add 15x to both sides. So that goes to 0, and so what we're left with on this side is the negative 15 is equal to, well, negative 12x plus 15x is going to be 3x. And now we use inverse operations to solve. Negative 15 equals 3x. I'm going to divide both sides by 3 here. So 3 divided by 3 is going to be 1. And negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5 is equal to x. All right, and last but not least, let me check my answer. So negative 5 times 1 minus 5 times negative 5 plus 5 times negative 8 times negative 5 minus 2 is equal to negative 4 times negative 5 minus 8 times negative 5. All right, lots to go on through here, so let's just take it one by one. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. Negative 8 times negative 5 is 40. Negative 4 times negative 5 would be 20. Negative 8 times negative 5 is 40. All right, negative 5, 1 plus 25 is 26, plus 5 times 38 is equal to 20 plus 40 is 60. Well, negative 5 times 26, I'm going to pull that into a calculator, though I think it's 130. Negative 130. Yep. And 5 times 38 is 190. And negative 130 plus 190 is 60. So 60 does equal 60. It checks out. You can also just plug each part of the equation into a calculator and check it there. All right, and that'll conclude today's video over solving equations.